Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the analytical geometry and we are going to learn about the equation of a line and what is the slope of a line and what is the y-intercept of a line. And we will solve some examples in order to understand how we can find the equation of a line or the slope or the y-intercept. I start by explaining that if we have a y-axis and we have an x-axis, then any point on this plane, xy plane, can be determined or can be interpreted with two numbers, x and y. So the y-axis is the vertical axis and the x-axis is the horizontal axis. Generally, we would like to express any line in this form that you see here. Y equals mx plus b. So if any line in any form is given to you, you have to try to find y in terms of x. When you have this, then we will explain later that this m is called the slope and this b is called y-intercept. Okay, if you have a line equation, in order to find the y-intercept, you need to put x as 0. Then you can find the y-intercept. So here, if you put x equal to 0, then this term will be 0 and y equals b, right? Y equals b is a y-intercept. In other words, it is the point where the line intercept with the y-axis. In order to find the x-intercept, that means the point where the line intercept with the x-axis, you have to put y equal to 0. Then you can find the x equal minus b over m, which is called the x-intercept. So here you can see that. So if this is an imaginary line, you can see b is the y-intercept, the point in which the line intercept with the y-axis, and x equals minus b over m is the x-intercept. Let's look at an example. Determine x-intercept and y-intercept for this line. So this is the line equation that we have. We want to find at which points does this line intercept with x and y axis, right? As I explained here, up here, in order to find the y-intercept, you need to put x equal to 0. Okay, if we put x equals 0, then we have y is minus 5 multiplied by 0 plus 4, which is 4. So y is 4 is the y-intercept, right? Y-intercept. In order to find x-intercept, we put y equal to 0. Then we have 0 equals minus 5x plus 4. From here you can find the value of x, 4 over 5. So we have x and y intercepts here. So now when we have these, we can draw the line, right? How we do that? This is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. So we know at y equals to 4, this line intercepts with the y-axis, okay? Y equals to 4. At the x equal to 4 over 5, let's say it is somewhere here. So we have 2 points of a line, we can easily draw the line. So in order to draw a line, we need to have 2 points of it. Here we have 2 points of it. We know that at y equals 4, it intercepts y. At x equal 4 over 5, it intercepts x. Then we can draw the line. Okay, here we want to talk about the slope of a line. If y equals mx plus y, m is called the slope and b is called the y-intercept. If m is a positive number, then the line will be rising. When you move from smaller x values to the larger x values, you will see that the line is rising. But if m is a negative number, you will see that as you move from smaller x numbers to the bigger x numbers, the line is falling. Two parallel lines have the same slope. For example, here you can see that we have two lines, y equals 3x minus 2, y equals 3x plus 5. Both of them have the same slope, 3 and 3, right? So these two lines should be parallel. In fact, if you draw the lines, you will see that they are parallel. This picture is not a very good picture, but if you draw it more carefully, you will see that these two green and blue lines are actually parallel. So this green line is 3x plus 5. This is the green line, and this one is the blue line. You will see that these two lines are parallel. Let's solve a practical example for the parallel lines. The question is, determine the value of k so the following lines to be parallel. So we have two line equations. We want to find this value of k so these two lines be parallel. In order to do that, the first thing we do is we transform these lines to the standard line equation. What is the standard line equation? Standard line equation is y equals mx plus b. So in other words, we have to find y in terms of x for both of these, right? So for the first one, y equals, we take this to the other side of the equation, so the sign changes, minus 2x plus 2. And the second one would be, so I take this term to the other side of the equation, so it would be y equals k plus 2x plus 3. Right? Now we have both lines in the standard form. In order the two lines to be parallel, the slopes need to be equal. What are the slopes? The slope of the first line is minus 2, right? If you compare this to this standard equation, you can see the multiply of x would be the slope, minus 2. And here in the second line, the slope is k plus 2, because that's what it is multiplied by x, right? So in order for these two lines to be parallel, we need the slopes to be equal. In other words, minus 2 to be equal to k plus 2, right? From here, k becomes minus 4. So if you put k equal to minus 4, then these two lines will be parallel. Let's see another example. Determine the value of k such that the following lines intercept on the y-axis. Again, the first thing we do is that we transform these equations into standard line equation. Standard line equation is y equals mx plus b, right? So we have to find y in terms of x. Here, in order to find that, we'd say 2y equals, I take this one to the other side, minus 2x plus 3. Then I have to divide it by 2. Y equals minus x plus 3 over 2. So this is now in the standard line equation format. The second one, 3y equals 2x plus k minus 2. So we have y equals 2 over 3x plus k minus 2 over 3. This is now in the standard form. So In order these two lines to intersect on the y-axis, their y-intercept needs to be the same. So what is the y-intercept here? You can see a y-intercept is when you put x equals 0. When you put x equals 0, this is the y-intercept here, and this is the y-intercept here. So 3 over 2 needs to be equal to k minus 2 over 3. And from here you can see if we do a multiplication, a cross multiplication, it would be 9 equals 2k minus 4. 2k equals 13. K equals 13 over 2. So if you put k equals 13 over 2 in this equation, these two lines will intersect at the same point on the y-axis. Okay, here we are going to see how we can find the slope if we have two lines, two points on a line, right? If this is a line, this is y-axis, this is x-axis, and we have 2 points on this line. Right, you can see the slope of the line can be defined by the difference in y over the difference in x. In other words, the slope of a line, if you have 2 points x1 and y1, x1 and y2 on the line, the slope would be equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. To clarify this, let's look at an example. Determine the value of k if the point minus 1 and minus 1 and 9 and k be 2 points on a line with a slope of 1 over 2. So what information do we have here? We know that the slope of the line is 1 over 2, right? This is given to us. And we know 2 points on the line. This is the first point, so x1 and y1, first point is minus 1 and minus 1. And the second point is 9 and k, or x2 and y2, second point is 9 and k. So the problem would be, the solution would be easy, because we know that the slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? So y2 minus y1 is k plus 1. See, k minus minus 1 is k plus 1. x2 minus x1 is 9 minus minus 1, means 9 plus 1. But we know what is the slope, right? It's 1 over 2. Then we replace slope as 1 over 2 equals k plus 1 over 10. We do a cross multiplication here. 10 equals 2k plus 2. 2k equals 8. K equals 4. So in other words, if you put the value of k equals to 4 in this point that you see here, so the point 9 and 4, then the slope of the line would be 1 over 2. Let's look at another example. Determine the value of k if the points x, 3, 2, y, k8, and z, k plus 7, 29 are collinear. What collinear means? Collinear means all of these 3 points here should be located on the same line. So this is our first point, right? So this is x1 and y1. This is our second point, x2 and y2. And this is our third point, x3 and y3. So if these 3 lines locate on the same, these 3 points locate on the same line. Let's say this is x3, y3, x2, y2, x1, y1. Then the slope of the line should be the same, no matter you use these points to calculate the slope or these 2 points calculate the slope, right? So if I use the first 2 points to calculate the slope, then the slope would be y2 minus y1, means 8 minus 2, right? y2 minus y1, over x2 minus x1, means k minus 3, right? K minus 3. This is the slope of the line when we use these 2 lines. Now, instead of these 2 lines, let's use the first line and the third line. The slope should be the same, right? Because these points are all on the same line. Now, if we use first and third points to calculate the slope, it would be y2 means 29 minus 2 over x2 means k plus 7 minus 3, right? Now we have this equation in which we can easily find the value of k. Okay, then we have 8 minus 2 is 6 over k minus 3 equals 29 minus 2 is 27 over k plus 4. Then we do a cross multiplication, right? We have 6k plus 24 equals 27k minus 3 by 27 is 81, right? 3 by 27 is minus 81. Then from here, if you solve this equation, it would be 21k equals 81 plus 24. Okay, it would be 81 plus 24. 81 plus 24 is 105, and this divided by 21, right, would be 5. K would be 5. So if you put k equal to 5 in these points, then all of these 3 points will be on the same line. I don't want to make this video any longer. I think now we have like 18 minutes, that's enough. I will continue to talk about these line equations and how to solve problems related to line equations in the upcoming videos. If you like what you see in this channel, please subscribe and tell your friends about this channel. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoy your rest of the day.